Shall we try to walk before the rain comes down again? It's afternoon and Eddie hasn't stepped out yet for his walk. So he's a little tired. Look at him. Hey, Ed. Come on, let's go. Let's go for a quick walk. Come on, let's go. So I'm just popping out here to, I don't mind walking in the rain. Check out what I'm wearing. I've got a dress and boots. I don't know if you can see down there my boots. But it's been so hot and we appreciate all this rain. Absolutely do. That house behind us is coming along. The roof is on. That's good news. So let me turn the camera around. Look at the nasturtiums growing underneath there on our kitchen garden. Tomatoes are filling up beautifully. The garlic is coming up. The snow peas. There's something about walking in the rain. Look at the amaranth coming up. Isn't that beautiful? Sweet peas. I've been trying to cut on these and add them to my bouquets that go to the garden market. So I've never grown bupleurum before. I was so absolutely in love with it. It doesn't look like it's cut and come again. I'm almost halfway through my bunches here. But I do have some other fillers coming up, which are nice. More bachelor's buttons in this bed that I planted. Some yarrow over here. Feverfew. My larkspur look like they're pretty much done. They've been a real highlight in my bouquets. Look at the pop of nasturtiums here. And loving these afternoon white cosmos. Zinnias, ballerina pink. Look at all the different versions of pink. You've got these gorgeous ones and then these pale. I think Barb, when she saw some of these dahlias or zinnias, she thought they were dahlias. Oklahoma salmon over here. Absolutely beautiful. Loving the ageratum. I've been using even these shorter periwinkle colors. But let's see here. I've been cutting on all these snapdragons and looks like I still need to do some deadheading, but look at what's making a comeback. All of the lilac or lavender snapdragons from Johnny's, they're making a comeback. So that's great news because they're always a feature in my bouquets. And over here, still a lot of holes that I might plant some more zinnias. I did start some new seeds. It's just been a couple days since we came out and did our July garden walk, but I just thought it's nice to capture. Look at all this chamomile, the edge of my fruit trees, at the base of my fruit trees. There's a cupcake blush. Look at this pear tree. It's going to create some shade. Oh, I need to send that picture of the dead Harlow car to David Austin because I know that they warranty their bare roots and all of their plants for up to 5 years. There's Quickfire Fab. Gorgeous. Oh, the pink zinnias are really coming up full. Let's step back. Look at how big and full that is. Gorgeous. Come on, Eddie. Let's keep going. So just as Greg set up the sprinklers and the soaker hose here along my long rose bed, we had rain for the last couple days, so not sure if they've been turned on. Looks like I put a mix here of the purple and the yellow zinnias, but isn't that a nice, let's look at it from the street. Let's go along here. We're not going to walk on the mulch. Go on. Oh, smells so good. Queen of Sweden. And look at my second round of cats' pajamas after their first pruning. They're coming back. And I had cut back my Princess Spireas. So we'll see if we get a second bloom. There is Dahlia Ball Berlin, Stoltz von Berlin, Cat's Meow over here, our hose, my lime green zinnias. Looks like I need to deadhead again my rose here, Earth Angel. I'm a little disappointed in how small my geraniums were. Last year along the path, I had Sunshine and Patience. And so this year, and they would droop even though I would water them daily. But look at that. Allium's peeking up over there. But this lavender here, Munstead with the geraniums, is looking pretty for sure. It's starting to rain a little heavier. We need to go, honey. Let's go. Let's go stand under a tree. I haven't filmed my work area here in a while. I wanted to show you how I've got some ageratum seeds that I threw in here. I think I direct sowed these into these watering or milk cans, and I direct sowed some snapdragons that we need to come in and definitely deadhead. I think this is an aster in here that's showing some stress. Don't know if it flowered yet. But last year when I threw a bunch of seedlings of snapdragons, they pretty much took over my pots. You know, I really love these standard boxwoods, and I feel almost like it's a shame to hide them back here, but I think it sort of formalizes this area a little bit because this is just a working area. So I pulled down my alpine strawberries from the greenhouse. They were covered in tiny little white specks. I don't know if they were aphids. They weren't even moving, but I just hosed down very aggressively with the spray hose or the strong stream on the hose link. And then I went in with a nice aggressive spray treatment of neem oil. My friend Jen at the Pretty Little Garden, she has been struggling with spider mites in her dwarf Alberta spruces, and I suggested to her the advice that I was given by Barb. There's my other one here. On when I brought this over, it was in my car one time. I stopped at Barb's last year when I bought this dwarf Alberta spruce. Got this from Lowe's. It was about $120. I've given it a little bit of a prune to keep its topiary shape, but Barb advised me with Colorado spruces to continuously spray directly on the foliage with your hose, and I do that on a daily basis. I come in here and spray these because, as you can see here, there's a little bit of um, you know, stress. I don't know if that's spider mites, but I'm so thrilled that I get all of this new growth regularly. You see all this, the contrast in color, that's new growth. So I've been very happy so far. And this container is so heavy that I had thought originally of carrying this topiary tree into the greenhouse if I needed to, but it's been doing so well and it survived its first winter, so I haven't carried it in. So I want to pop into a garden center. I know everyone has sales going on, and I want to take out finally these violas. I didn't grow these ones from seed. They're your standard, I don't know if they're Johnny jump ups, but that I planted in that urn over there. And I have just moved the other day. It was so hot. I'd moved my scabiosa, the second one, over here next to what's left of my Roseanne geranium on the left that got eaten by the rabbits. So I'm hoping that it continues to do well, that scabiosa, because I had mirrored it over here. Look at the clouds up there. I hear a plane. Oh, there's a plane. Way up there. Oh, there it is. Looks so far away. Look at that house. It'll be a nice view for them and for us. The grass is looking a little better. So, string theory, Amsonia. I know I showed you just the other day my sky view, but I can't get over how incredibly gorgeous and blue it is. As I said before, I had 8 of these, 5 in my front south-facing garden. Obviously, it was too hot for them, even though I watered them daily. But look at, I'm just taking a close-up, but look at the variations of lavender, the lime, and the blue. Look at that. And my white gomphrena. And then this little guy here. They were the same size. And this is like a third of the size of this one. And this one over here is maybe half. Very pink. And yes, there are little seedlings there of my gomphrena that I didn't bother uprooting when I planted. So this is Princess Alexandra of Kent. And I got this shrub, David Austin shrub, rose shrub, from Barb at Garden Market Sycamore. And it was a little bit stressed with powdery mildew, because it had been watered from overhead in her garden market. And as we rosarians, I'm not a rosarian, but I love roses, but as us rose growers know, it's always better to water from below your leaves, because excess moisture on the leaves can produce powdery mildew, especially during the hot, humid temperatures that we have here. So, of course, you can't control rain, but you can certainly control your watering patterns. And anyway, I cut back this rose once I brought it home from Barb's, and I cut it back by at least 6 to 8 inches. And you can tell because all of this is new growth from here up. I'm going to take this guy out. So I cut it back and then I sprayed it with neem oil. And I'm not seeing any powdery mildew. So I'm thrilled. So the lesson learned is, if you do have, there's a bud right there. Look at that. If you do have roses that are suffering with a little powdery mildew, just cut them back. Make sure they have good air circulation and give it a good douse of neem oil. I swear by it now. Look at that. It's so healthy. It's already had a bloom or two when I first brought it home, but I actually cut back the blooms just to make sure that we got some new growth. So let's take a look down here. We haven't had a chance to look at my Pinky Winky Prime hydrangea. Lots of new growth. I think it's grown. Oh, that's a nice weed that we're going to pull out. And these are my sunflowers that I've caged. They're looking a little bit of chlorosis, low in iron. They've come in here and sprayed. Look at that. I think for the wiring for the new house. So we'll see if this is going to control the weeds by planting, mulching and planting these perennials back here, and of course these annual sunflowers. I just like the idea of having a border, a back border of tall sunflowers. Ow. I'm just picking out a prickly weed. Just getting a nice back view of my back patio. Looks like all of my pansies I planted here have been eaten to the ground by the rabbits. All of those pansies and violas that I transplanted from my containers I put back here, wondering if they would self-seed to next spring. So we'll see what happens. They were also a bit of a decoy for the rabbits. Look at this upside down dwarf Norway spruce. I've cut that back because it literally looks upside down. Here's my lilac tree showing a little bit of stress. I don't recall it blooming. It stopped raining. I think I need to take Eddie back out again. This is my gorgeous Serbian spruce, I should say. Serbian spruce has this unique blue and green on top, blue underside foliage. It is such a gorgeous specimen evergreen. Oh no, it's still raining. This is a Korean fir that struggled. It got a lot of orange foliage in its first year, right in the center, which made it a little bit thin, as you can see, but it has put on so much height. I would say it is easily 10 feet high now, and it's put on 3 feet. We bought it was 6 or 7 feet, 3 to 4 feet. And our Harry Potter tree, we fondly call it Harry Potter. This is a weeping cypress. It is ginormous. It's also at least 12 feet tall. Great specimen tree. Her Fat Albert over here. I just wanted to show you some of our trees, and that's a Black Hills spruce right there. And we've talked about our stressed out rising sun redbud in the corner that's showing a little bit of rust. I need to look into that. I'd love to hear from you if you have encountered this rusting of your rising sun redbud. I'd love to hear what you've done to deal with that. So I'm going on a garden walk finally this weekend. I've decided on Saturday. It's going to be low 80s. I'm going to go. Don't know if my mother-in-law, it's her last weekend here, if she's up to walking the 7 gardens. You know, we drive to them. One is out of town. Like 3 or 4 of the homes are 18 minutes away from our town, which I don't know why it's put on by the Master Gardeners, sponsored by the Master Gardeners. We need to move along here, and I'm getting wet. Sit on the front porch and finish this little walk and talk. So there's our timers. There's my Meyer lemon tree, has put on a ton of new growth. It was suffering from aphid damage when it was inside, and I kept bringing it in and then bringing it out, to onto the porch to spray it with. First, I did a series of different insecticidal soaps, and then I used Mitex. Not sure if I got neem oil on it, but honestly, once I left it out here and continued to hose all of the foliage directly to, blow off the aphids, I haven't seen any. I haven't had to treat it. But it did take 3 or 4 treatments of insecticidal soap alternating with Mitex. So hopefully it continues to do well. That's Arctic Blue, the rose over there on the left. Isn't that pretty? So happy that my cat's pajama nepeta are starting to bloom again. They're usually not as brilliant in foliage or not as florific as the first set of blooms early in the season, but at least they make a comeback. And the grass is improving with the rain. Really hopeful about all of this new Munstead lavender. These two were planted literally weeks apart, and hopefully this one on the left, I put down 3 of those little ones here. 1, 2. This was planted a couple weeks before, and then the newer one. Hopefully those catch up. Just giving you a look at my beautiful Coleus Colossia rose, Coleus, and my Salvia Swan Lake that has yet to bloom here for height. But isn't that gorgeous? That was an entire package of Coleus from Baker Creek. And this is my Martha Stewart bowl that I picked up from Home Goods. Sorry, there's all this construction over here. Oh, they're doing tree trimming. Every storm we get a tree that comes down. I don't know what tree came down, but they're doing some tree maintenance. Well, it's the end of the day. We've finished having a lovely dinner out on the patio. The sun is setting beautifully. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.